Hello guys, welcome back to my channel again. Today in this video I'm going to share you how I got my scholarship to do my masters and PhD in Canada. This video will be useful for those who wants to study in USA and Canada because most of the admission process in Canada and USA are very similar. The only major difference is in most of the US universities they require GRE, whereas in Canada they only require some kind of English language score, for example IELTS or TOEFL. So a little bit background about myself. I did my bachelor in veterinary science and animal husbandry from Nepal, and then I went to Canada to do my masters in animal science from University of Manitoba, which is in the middle part of Canada. And then after I completed my masters, I did my PhD on animal science from University of Guelph, Canada, which is really close to Toronto. So when I completed my undergrad, what I knew was I wanted to do my masters and PhD, but I didn't know which university to choose. So what I did was I did some research on Google and I typed what are the universities that offer animal science degree in Canada and US. And that gave me a list of so many universities in Canada and US. In Canada, usually there were only handful of universities, but in US there were many universities which offer animal science program in their universities. So after I did that, I made a list of all those universities that were offering animal science program, and then I also made a list of what are the requirements to go into those programs. For example, what are the GPA score, what are the English language score, and what are the GRE score. And also what I did was I talked to some of my seniors who were doing masters or PhD in those universities to get idea on which university is better, which university has more opportunities, and all other questions that were related to the field of my interest. So after I made a short list of all those universities that were offering animal science program, what I did was I went into their web page, and then I went into their animal science department website, and then I started researching on the professor. So I only looked into the profile of those professors who were doing research in the field that were of my interest. At that time, I was really interested to do my masters in animal nutrition, mainly pig and poultry nutrition. So I started looking for the professors who were doing research in that area. And after I made a short list of those professors who were doing research in that area, at that time I think it was roughly 60 or 70 of them. So I started collecting their email and I started looking into their publications, and then what I did was I started emailing them. So while I emailed them, what I did was I first introduced myself, and I also made them aware about the research interest of mine, and I also started asking them if there is any opportunity available in their supervision to do masters or PhD. And then I also attached my CV. So I almost emailed 60 to 70 of the professors, and I only got, after a week or something like that, I only got response from probably 10 or 15 of them. At that time, it was a long time ago, it was on 2012, so I don't remember exactly how many of them responded to my email, but I think it was 10 to 15 of them who replied back to me, and only 2-3 of them were really interested in taking me as a student. So I never got response from most of those professors. What might have happened is, because I was emailing from Gmail, which is not an official email, the email might have gone to spam folder, or maybe they just simply ignored that. So if you don't get response from professors, it is always a good idea to send them follow-up email in a week or two, just asking them about your previous email and asking them about the opportunities again. And sometimes if you have a official email, it's always good idea to send email from official email, because if you send email from official email, there is a very less chance that that email goes into the spam folder. And also what I used to do was I used to attach my CV and letter of motivation to the email, because I used to think if I attach CV, there is less chance that my email would go into spam folder. And also what I used to do was I used to make sure that when the professor receive email, they receive email around 9 a.m. because usually 9 a.m. is the start of their office hours, and when they first go into the office, they would first check their email, and your email would appear on the top of their email list, so that there is high chance they would open your email. If they don't open your email, there is no chance they will read your application. But if they at least open your email, there is at least some chance you will be in their radar. So that's what I used to do. So these are some of the tips which can make sure that professor is getting your email. So I really got one positive response from the University of Manitoba, and the professor asked me to apply for the master program. And in the meantime, I was preparing for my GRE and IELTS exam, and once I got the positive response from the professor of University of Manitoba, I only needed to do IELTS. So I started preparing for IELTS, and I gave IELTS within a week, and I got results in 2 weeks of time. So I already had English score, and at that time the English language requirement for the University of Manitoba was 6.5, and I had passed the requirement. So that means I had all the documents which were needed for the application process. So once I got positive response from the professor, what I did was I opened account in the university admission page, and I started uploading all the documents. So some of the documents that I uploaded was my transcript, my letter of intent, that is also called statement of purpose. This is one of the place where you can show how motivated you are to do research in that university, or how motivated you are to working with the professor. And then I also uploaded English score. I also uploaded letter of recommendation. So always make sure, if you are applying for graduate program, make sure you talk to your previous professors who can provide you very good letter of recommendation. If you don't have a letter of recommendation, then there is very less chance that you will get offer of admission. So you always need to have 2-3 good letter of recommendation as well, apart from other documents. And also, while you email professor, it is not a good idea to email 2-3 professors in the same department, because it just undermines your application. And if you are emailing 2-3 professors, that shows that you are not really interested in that particular field of interest. You are just interested to go into that university and go into that country. So never ever email many professors in the same department. If there are 2 professors in the same department who are doing research in the field of your interest, then that might make sense. But if there is only one professor whose research interest aligns to your research, then only email to that professor, and do not email to any other professors, because you never know, that professor might be already in the admission committee, and if he or she sees your application, then that might create negative impression. So after I got positive response from the supervisor, what I did was I uploaded all the documents, and then the only thing I could do was wait. And after a month, I got positive response from the University of Manitoba, and I got offer letter. And after I got offer letter from University of Manitoba, I started preparing for visa process, which was again another lengthy process. That took me almost 2-3 months. So I started my master's from January. That means I started emailing professor 6-7 months ago. So you always need to be prepared for that. So if you want to study on winter session, always make sure you start emailing professors way ahead of time, at least 6-7 months before, because to get positive response from professor might take 1 month, and to get offer letter from university might take another 1 or 2 months, and to get visa might take another 4-5 months. So this is how you should manage the application process. So this is how I got scholarship in Canada, guys. I hope this video will be useful to you. Also, if you have any questions regarding the application process, you can always put that question in the comment section, and I'll be able to respond to those questions. And also, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again in next video. Until then, bye.